Welcome back. Reimagining the East as the aquatic playground of the city means putting together a variety of aquatic facilities to create an enticing assortment of attractions. Continuing on this theme, we look at 2 replacement facilities that have already largely secured funding. Firstly, I spoke to 3 members of the Pleasant Point Yacht Club at their new site on their estuary in South Brighton.
Well, the Pleasant Point Yacht Club started in 1921 and had been over at Rat Island since 1929. The first earthquake in September severely damaged the building, breaking it into 3 separate pieces. The February earthquake was the killer blow though. The whole island dropped about a metre or so. So after that time, every time we had a high tide, we had about a metre of water flowing through the club. So that made continuing at Rat Island absolutely impossible. So since then we've claimed on our insurance, the building has been demolished and we've re-established ourselves here at South New Brighton Park.
Well, there's 2 things on the go at the moment. First of all, we're working with the Christchurch Earthquake Appeals Trust, Fulton Hogan, who are going to assist us with building a ramp directly behind where we're standing now. We'll have a new ramp starting within a month or so. That's all been consented. The council is happy with that and it's underway. The second thing is looking towards the right over here. We have plans to build a new clubhouse there. We've done the geotech work already. We are going to be going in for consents within 2 or 3 months. And that will be a rather long process, we feel, but certainly the design work's done, it's all feasible. We have about 2/3 of the money, so the next aspect will also include fundraising. All the money that we have in our insurance policy came from the people in the east. We're an eastern suburbs club.
We're very concerned to make sure that money that comes out of the east goes back into the east. And the one thing that we're absolutely adamant about is that we want to re-establish here for the community. We have the best water on the estuary. We feel it's going to be the best playground for water sports.
Probably for me the biggest advantage of re-establishing here in the South New Brighton Park is that this park is part of the community, and the sheer number of people we find on sailing days walking through the park with their children, with their dog, riding a push bike. We've had a huge amount of interest from members of this community in what we're doing, and in fact this past season we've had 28 new members join our club. Now, where we were before at Rat Island, it was a great location for sailing, but it was off the beaten track and people didn't just drop in. So a huge advantage for us as a club here in South New Brighton and a great resource for the local community.
And we're very aware that a lot of the other sports around the area are lacking in facilities and may want to have the opportunity to use or hire the facility, and it will be available for social occasions as well, and I can't imagine a better site in the whole of Canterbury for that.
So here we are about to build a brand new facility, 100% to earthquake code. There'll be nothing like this in yachting in Canterbury.
We're at the stage now where the council have in writing given us an undertaking that they will give us a lease, and the big issue we faced with that was getting insurance. That was one of the prerequisites for that, and we're very pleased that through Yachting New Zealand and some deals that they have put in place with some insurance companies that we secured insurance several months ago now. So that was the last hurdle we faced. So pretty much now it's really relatively plain sailing.
The earthquakes also took a terrible toll on the biggest recreation and sports centre in East Christchurch, QE2. Built to host the Commonwealth Games in 1974, the complex was so badly damaged that it had to be totally demolished. The decision to build a replacement metro centre in the CBD came as a bitter double blow for the East. However, after a long campaign, funding has been allocated to a new sport and recreation centre to serve the needs of the East. A community advisory group was set up to help the council decide the location and scope of the new facility. I spoke to 3 members of this group about the new proposal.
Yeah, well, the earthquake pretty much wiped out the aquatic facilities in the east.
We're trying to get something which is going to be a facility like the other council ones, like Jelly Park and Pioneer, over to this side of town, because there's a gaping big hole at the moment and it needs to be filled. We need the gym, the pools, the leisure part of the pools as well. It's really, really important part of it. With the water safety and children's play, water play is really important on this side of the town because we're surrounded by water.
You have children coming through who have, their primary schools have tiny little above ground plastic, bathtubs, essentially trying to learn to swim, and it really isn't enough to drown-proof our kids, because we are within a kilometre or two of the sea. The nearest facility that we have is Graham Condon, which is quite a long ways inland, and we have a very large population still here. People think the east has been emptied, but there's a huge population here and growing. Yes, we're quite lucky that we have a fixed budget already assigned to build a new, people call it the replacement to QE2, but it's an eastern recreation and sports facility that will have aquatics and dry recreational facilities.
A facility that will suit everybody, sport achievement for our youth, in particular our high school students, but also deep water for our aqua joggers and sports enthusiasts.
With the aqua jogging taking off, that's really important to cater for that in the future, because it's going to become more and more popular as we go. But also with the high schools coming here, it's the perfect opportunity to actually get something that's going to cater for their water polo, for canoeing, for life saving, even the training squads. And usually with a deeper pool, the temperature is different than for a shallow pool. Like the shallower pool for the children needs to be warmer, and for the elderly, for aqua classes, because they get colder quicker.
It's going to be sited here at QE2, which is in the centre of the ward, and it's located off the expressway, which allows the Hagley Ferrymead ward and Shirley Papineau ward to have good access as well.
A little time after the decision was announced that the Eastern Sports and Recreation Centre will be coming to QE2, the Ministry advised that their preferred location was also QE2. They'd gone through the same analysis that we had. They'd looked at the options, which were fairly sparse considering the amount of room required, and of course the quality of the ground. So that's the process. There's a process going through for, I guess, the council and the ministry to agree transfer of land. But essentially what we're expecting is that this area will have both the Eastern Sports and Recreation facility, and we'll have the two high schools, the Avonside Girls and the Shirley Boys high schools, coming over to here to really bolster the area. It's going to be fantastic.
And something that works for everybody, which does mean we have to look at capacity really carefully. I think over time people have lost heart that they'll never get this facility, and I really want to speak to them through you that this is going to happen. This is about their welfare, about their youth, about personal achievement and aspirations for them, and to stay involved.
We need to make sure that the operating processes are right, and just the location, so that there's easy access between them and that people can park easily. So there's a few challenges, but it's incredibly positive that we have these two high schools here, because it will just show the eastern community that there is real investment in the east, which is, at the moment still pretty much lacking.
When you add the new Brighton Surf Life Club and the new saltwater hot pools into the mix, you really end up with a truly stunning package of aquatic facilities. Well, that concludes our look at the East as the aquatic playground of the city. We would love to know what you think about some of the proposals discussed here, so please register on the EvoSpace website and click on episode 4 to give us your feedback. Next episode, we will focus on all the exciting proposals to make the most of the natural environment. Remember, you can watch this episode online at any time by going to the CTV or Rebuild Christchurch websites. And you can share these links with your friends. So until next week, thanks for watching. This is Dion Swiggs for Eyes East.